Hello everyone, happy 2020. It's Colleen Suchecki here, and I am a speaker and intuitive healer, and I help people overcome their past traumas, their past experiences, whatever is holding them back so that they can live their life authentically and create the life they want. So today's topic is about being visible. And what I would love to do is to really start this conversation, and I'm going to be asking you some questions too. So whether you're coming on live now or if you're watching the replay later on, I'd love to hear in the comments your thoughts on this. So if you're coming on now, please say hello, or if you're watching the replay later, please say hello so I know you're here. So here's the thing, is that I feel it is a need for our soul as a spiritual being to live a life that is authentic to us, to live a life where we're going after the things that we really want, we're taking risks, we're being visible. And there are so many things that, hey, if you're coming on now, please say hello. And so there's so many things that can get in our way of speaking our truth, of going out there and, hey, no, I just started, Leslie. Great to see you. Happy 2020. So there can be so many things that stop us from, maybe it's doing a Facebook Live or writing a Facebook post or hosting a retreat or an event, or, there's so many things in which, so many ways we can be more visible that is really a calling from our soul, right? Like a calling from the deepest parts of ourself. And there's a lot of things that can get in the way of us listening to this. Past experiences that we've gone through, beliefs that we've come from those experiences, fears, all these things can stand in our way. So what I want to do is just I'm going to ask a few questions, and then I do have a tapping. If you haven't heard of tapping, it's also called EFT. I have a kind of a general tapping script around being more visible that I hope can really help you at least scratch the surface and get some things moving. And also know that, when I'm working one-on-one with clients, I would actually go into specifically what event from their past is stopping them, because for everyone, it's something different. For some people, they were bullied, they were maybe another person, they were criticized heavily by a parent or a loved one. For some people, it's abuse. So there's different reasons that are underneath the surface that can stop us. But because this is, I obviously can't get into those specifics. I do have a general script. So how this can impact your life is that maybe you are psychic or you're intuitive and you're still in the closet, so to speak. You haven't really come out about the gifts that you have, and really that's hurting you in your business. Maybe you want to do more speaking. Maybe you want to speak at some local events or national events, and you're kind of holding yourself back and you're playing small. Maybe you're not speaking at all. Maybe you want to start your own business. Maybe you've been in a place, in a job or in a partnership, and you just have been like feeling this call of, I really want to have my own thing. And again, you've held yourself back because it's like there's this underlying thing of being visible, of being authentic. So what I would love to hear from you, if anyone feels brave enough to share, what are some of the things that you're not doing right now in the context of being more visible, of being more out there? What are some of the things that you're not doing right now that you would like to do or you feel called to do? So if you feel brave enough, there's no judgment here. If you feel brave enough to share that, I would love to hear from you. And also, or if you feel brave to share, what's the fear? Is it a fear of being judged or criticized? Or, like if you feel like you have a pinpoint on exactly what that fear is that's holding you back, I would love to hear that from you too. Okay. So, I know there's a delay. So if there's, okay, let's see. I need to attend more networking. Okay, great. All right, great. That's a great point, Leslie. There's a lot of people that want to share their business, want to get out there more, want to meet more people. And instead of getting out there, in their nice cozy home or doing Highland, or they're doing things great. We're staying in our comfort zone in our nice little cozy place. And this is not a judgment at all. I've certainly, had times where I've been guilty of that myself. But that's a great example, Leslie, of like what would you be doing if you're feeling the call of your soul to get out there and be more visible? What would you be doing that you're not doing now? Okay, let's see. I need to reach out to more potential sponsors. Fear of rejection. Leslie, you're nailing it today. Okay, awesome. Right. So maybe you are hosting events. Maybe you're someone who hosts events, or you plan on hosting events and you want to have sponsors. And then the other thing that I asked that Leslie was answering is, what's the fear? Like, what stops you from doing that? So Leslie's saying the fear of rejection. Can be a very powerful fear. Okay, anyone else? Leslie, I so appreciate you sharing, because this is so much more enjoyable, I think, for me, and a lot of people get more out of it when I can hear from you as well. And then I'm going to give it just a few more seconds to see if anyone else had responded. And then we're going to go into a tapping routine about this fear of being visible. And if you've never heard of tapping or EFT before, it's basically, okay, hold on one second. Abby is saying, feeling the need to be perfect. Yes, right? Like, I've got to have all my shit together before it can go out there, right? Like, I need to be perfect. I need to look perfect. That's a really good one, Abby. And that can be, holy shit, right? Like, there is no perfect, right? But it's like this illusion in our mind that we create that holds us back of like, we aren't far enough along, or, we don't have the right clothes, or we don't look right. All these things we conjure up in our mind to hold us back. Okay, Leslie said, I need to carve out time for networking and just do it. It requires travel and feel time in my office is more productive, but when I do, it's effective and I feel good. Right. Yeah, that's a good point, Leslie, because here's the thing is like, and again, everyone is wired a little differently as far as how much interaction with other people you need. But like at the bare minimum, getting out and getting out of the normal routine is really overall in general a really good way to shake up things, to get some energy flowing. And then there are some people that need frequent interaction with other people. These are people who are like externally wired people that need a consistent interaction with other people. And if they have too much isolation, it's actually really detrimental to their manifesting process. And then Leslie said body image issues, so like to be in the background. So, okay, that's another really good point. And that's definitely one I've heard from people too, is, how our view of how we think we look, or our image, versus how we think we should look or what we should be. And when those two don't match up, that can be another reason why we stop ourselves. So really, really good. I love this. I love it. Okay, great. So now what I want to do is, again, I had mentioned that I have a tapping script here. If you've never had tapping done before, it's basically a tool to help release yourself from the things that are stopping you. Now, this is, like I said, this is a general tapping script about being more visible, because, this is a Facebook Live, right? So when I'm working one-on-one with someone, we go really down into the nitty-gritty of like what is stopping them specifically, but I'm really hoping that this general one will at least touch on enough points to kind of get things shake it up a little bit and get you moving along. So the tapping is really simple. So there's specific points that you can just follow along with me, and then you're just going to repeat after me. So let me know if anyone has any questions, if I haven't explained that enough. And the thing with tapping is that we always start with focusing on the quote unquote negative first. Now, the negative is really like the emotions or the fears that are holding us back. And then once we go through a few rounds of that negative, then we can spin it to the positive. So just know that that's pretty much how it works. And I'm going to try to incorporate some of the things you all said in here too, because I want to add that in. Okay. All right. So here's what we're going to do. So the tapping points are right here. This is the karate chop point, right at this part of your hand, and you're going to tap here. Okay. This is one point. Another point is the top of your head. Another point is right here at the eyebrow, the side of the eye, under the nose, chin, and collarbone. All right, so hopefully you guys can see that collarbone one. Okay, so you're just gonna follow along and you're just gonna repeat after me, okay? So first, what I want you to do, the first thing that we do with tapping is that you want to rate where you are right now. So if you think about going out there and being more visible, about going to that networking event, about asking for more sponsorships, about speaking, maybe doing a Facebook Live, any of those things, I want you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being there's not a lot of fear at all, and 10 being like, holy shit, I can't do this, right? Like I'm not doing this at all. Rate yourself right now, scale of 1 to 10, where you feel the fear is around going out and being more visible. Okay, and just be honest with yourself. You may not, there may not be a ton of fear right now, but if you can just take a second and just think about the thing that you're most afraid of doing right now. Okay, so I'm going to give you a second to do that. And then if you want to share your number, the starting off number right now, go ahead, feel free to share that number. Scale of 1 to 10, where are you right now as far as thinking about getting out there and being more visible? Where are you right now? Okay, so think of that in your mind. It's most effective when you're focusing on what you're most afraid of doing. Okay, so focusing on that thing right now. We're going to start at the karate chop point. Even though I'm afraid of being more visible, I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Even though I have a fear of getting out there and being more visible, I'm open to loving and accepting myself. So again, you're just repeating after me. We're going to do this one more time here. Even though I'm feeling some fear around being more visible, I am choosing to love and accept myself. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go through the points. And again, you're just going to continue to repeat after me and just move your hand when I'm moving points, okay? I'm afraid of showing others certain parts of myself. I'm afraid I'll be judged, criticized, made fun of, or rejected. This feels vulnerable, unsafe, too risky. I need to hide. I need to stay in my comfy, cozy house. I need to protect myself. I need to stay hiding to be safe. Okay, collarbone. I want to be liked, accepted, and feel like I belong. Top of the head. I worry too much about what others think. I give my power to others. and it's really holding me back? What if I'm rejected? What if I'm criticized? I'm not perfect. Who am I to go out there and do this when I'm not perfect? I don't look perfect. I don't have it. Everything in my life is not perfect. So I should just not do this. It's safer that way. But I feel a call deep within me to be more visible, to get on more stages, to ask for sponsorships, to go to networking events where I may meet great partners. It's time to break through. It's time to stop letting this hold me back. What if I stopped looking outside of myself for acceptance, to be liked, and feel like I belong? What if this came from within me? Then it wouldn't matter what others thought. It would only matter what I thought about myself. I would be free to be me. I would be free to say and do what was authentic to me. And I would love and accept myself no matter what. This would come from within me and comes from within me. Okay, so take a deep breath in. Okay, we did a lot of rounds. I can feel my hands buzzing right now. So now rate yourself and check in with yourself. What is that number now between 1 and 10? 1 being there's very little to no fear, like you can go out and do it right now. Pick up the phone, you can jump on the Facebook Live, you can, pick up the phone to book that speaking gig. And 10 meaning you feel paralyzed. So I'd love to hear from you. And Leslie, thank you for saying you had a 4. Julie, hi Julie, you were at a 6 in the beginning. So I'd love to hear, where are you right now after doing that tapping? Now know that sometimes, okay, great. You were a 4, now you're 3. Okay, awesome, great. And sometimes, Leslie, that's just enough of a tipping point to actually pick up the phone for those sponsorships, or to get out and look at, go to that next networking event. Because I really believe that the universe favors the brave, right? Like when we're like, okay, I'm going to do this now, there might be some fear there, but it's not enough to stop me. That's when we're in our power. Julie, you were a 6, now you're a 4. Awesome. Great. So if you think about, and again, this was a general, I was trying to do this so that it had some benefit without being too specific for each person. So now think about what with this fear that's now less, or hopefully less for those of you maybe who haven't commented on your numbers. What can you do now? What new action may you take today, or what action may you take right now after we get off this live that maybe you had been stopping yourself from doing? So if you feel like you want to share that, please put that in the comments. I'd love to hear from you, what you may, what you're committing to doing now that you hadn't, maybe you felt there was too much fear before. But I just felt really called today to share about this, this thing with visibility. And I know for clients that I've worked with before, for some people, they've been highly, highly criticized by family members and loved ones in their childhood. And so for them, it's like this whole fear of criticism and judgment that holds them back. For other people, other clients have been bullied heavily. And so it can really impact them putting themselves out there, putting themselves in a position where there's a lot of limelight, or spotlight on them. Again, for everyone, it's going to be a little nuanced because there's going to be maybe a few or one past events that are really kind of steering the ship on this, right? Like where your subconscious, this part of you is like, no way, this is not safe, right? Like, don't do this at all. Or maybe if it's around, being rejected. So I hope this was helpful in some way to you. And if you would like to go deeper into this, and explore doing some one-on-one work together, please feel free. You can either comment below or you can reach out to me personally. And I'd love to have a conversation to see if I may be able to help you get yourself really, overcome these fears and get out there more and make more of an impact. All right, everyone. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you soon.